Hello, everybody, and welcome back into the last day of the EU qualifiers. It is the playoffs. It is the lower bracket here as we jump into another matchup between Wind and Rain and BlinkPool, a best-of-3 series. The winner will move on and play up against OG in a best-of-5. That'll be a little bit later. For now, we have to get through this lower bracket first. And to do so, we have myself, Maut, along with Purge, Draskell, Syndred, and Toby will be joining us in a little bit. How are you guys doing today?
We're good. We needed more than 4, so we're bringing in Toby.
We had to bring in the big guns.
Yep. And I don't want to talk about bot TI because Draskell's right now is wrong, and it hurts still. So let's move on.
Which Toby is it? Is it Toby from abroad or another Toby?
Toby from abroad just sounds...
Toby from abroad? It's Toby from abroad.
Sounds
Toby
legit.
from abroad. I don't exactly know where abroad is, but that's where he's from. But we'll have him joining us in a bit. But, yeah, this was a matchup that we saw yesterday, I believe, right? The first game. No, second game that we had. OG Kingwin was first. Kingwin is out. They are the first team eliminated from this.
Other than those group losers.
Yeah, right, besides them. Okay, fair enough. I'm still
Speaking of losers, bot TI.
What do you mean? Oh.
There was only one loser. It was me because I didn't submit my predictions, apparently, even though I thought I did.
Oh, no.
And it was also Jakiro.
You hate to see it. Amateur mistake.
I'm going to blame the web developer. Shit design, not my incompetence.
This is definitely your incompetence. Don't try to pawn it off.
Definitely not.
Anyway, how many games did you guys do with bot TI today? I came through like halfway through, I think.
4 games?
We did the Jakiro, we did the Lena matchup, we did the Enigma matchup, and we did the Jakiro one. I think it was 3.
Jakiro Coddle. Okay.
You guys got here early. Like me and Sin got here at like 10 minutes before we started.
Oh yeah, you see, I don't know if you noticed on the schedule, but it said get on your shuttle at 4 o'clock. So that's usually.
I did, but well, Charles changed it to 4:15, so I said, okay, I'll do that. Fine. I was there at 4:10. Sin came out at 4:20, so.
Hey. How could you? Is that why you're like, guys, I can't actually leave my room. It's too close. I have to sit back in.
No, I was ready to go at 3:55, but I was just thinking, it's better if we go at 4:20. So I kept Maut waiting.
So we can bring it up on panel. It'll be a nice little joke.
Yeah. I actually didn't think about it at all until Maut brought it up, of course.
Yeah, that's me. That's what I'm here for.
Stop looking at me,
Awkward silence.
I'm just, Andy's staring at me without saying anything.
By the way, Andy,
I have a hard time dealing with it.
I really like your shirt, bud.
Thank you. I got the shirt from Spitwad at TI8.
Yeah.
It's kind of the perfect shirt for EU qualifiers. What'd you say?
Yeah, that's why I'm wearing it.
That's good.
It was in my suitcase, and I was like, I actually forgot that I packed it, and I was like, this is perfect for today.
Well,
why would I not wear this shirt?
That's because Wind and Rain is here ready to
talk
out an
We actually do have NA Dota.
We do.
That's what this is about.
Classic NA Dota coming out. Have you talked to Spitwad any time recently?
I haven't talked to Aaron in ages.
Me too. I have not talked to him in a long time.
I don't even know what he's up to.
His job that I think is currently at called me for a reference. I gave him a very good reference, and then I haven't heard from him since then.
He's a super hard worker.
He is a very hard worker.
The reference
I gave him a fantastic reference. Probably one of the best references I've given anybody. I've only given one reference, so.
That's not at all like a Trumpism.
So then it has to be simultaneously the worst and the best. Because it's the only one.
Yeah. Hey, Toby's here, everybody. What's going on, Toby?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
It's Toby from abroad.
It works today.
Toby, can you explain to me why they're saying that? I don't know why. Maybe you know.
I'm Toby from abroad because that's how Maut introduced me yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like I'm like Jenny from the block. I'm Toby from abroad.
Yep.
It does flow really well.
Doesn't it?
It does flow really. I wanted to say when you guys all said it, but I didn't want to say it because I didn't understand it fully. But
that's what I like about you, Purge.
Sounds good.
You don't like to grab onto things that are like hot and a new thing.
Yeah.
You do your own thing.
If there's OP heroes, I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I try to play something else. And
like the overthrow yesterday. I don't want to play these Tinker bullshit heroes. I'm gonna play Gyro with an Octarine core.
It's because I like exploring and learning something new. I don't necessarily want to just be like, I just want to win as much as possible by abusing top strats. That's not as fun to me. So.
I'm in that same line of thinking. I think a good Dota player can win through adversity, aka not playing the OP heroes.
So like when Pangolier came out, you weren't like spamming that hero every day.
I didn't play. I played Pango like 1 or 2 times because obviously it was brand new, and I wanted to see what it did.
Right.
And for some reason, I didn't really like the hero that much at first. It just wasn't something that I enjoyed. And then a couple of weeks later, I tried it again, and I was like, maybe it's not so bad.
I usually just hurt myself as much as possible. Like when a hero like Monkey King comes out and he's just disgusting. I wait until he gets nerfed like 3 times, and that's when I pick him up, and I'm like, man, this sucks.
Think about how bad Invoker's been, like up until like obviously these qualifiers and his like resurgence. I've been playing that hero since he was awful. Like when he was good, I still played him, but then he was awful for like 2 years, and I still played him just because I like playing heroes that I enjoy more than I enjoy winning, you know, most of the time. Sometimes if I really want to win, I'll just be in a pub and I'll just pick something like Viper. You know, true, just absolute filth.
Whoa.
And just give me that W.
Well, hey, let's relax. Let's not call Viper filth here, all right? We're throwing out around words we want to throw around here, Andy.
Are you just saying you're a Viper fan?
Oh, it's
Yes.
Viper is filth.
Okay.
It definitely is filth.
I'm being ganged up on.
The only reason why Viper is great is when Draw Ranger actually gives Viper damage. Then Viper's good.
Toby, are you an MMR hipster as well, or do you try to win your games?
I'm sorry, I don't have enough MMR to have an opinion on that.
We might not pick the top 2 heroes, but you pick them and lose anyway.
Hello?
So
Do we play the same game?
Jesus.
I've watched your stream.
Yeah? I mean, everybody loses.
That's true.
If you had a 100% win rate, that would be pretty crazy. Could you imagine that? Just never losing ever?
That would be boring.
Yeah, it would be pretty boring. I lose on purpose.
Oh, okay.
That's the whole
I pick the great heroes and lose on purpose.
All right.
But I don't get reported because I pick good heroes at least.
Okay. I like that.
Fair enough.
And you didn't lose the TI qualifiers this time.
No, I didn't.
That's true.
That was, yeah.
That's a more
That's
liquid.
actually the best strategy
You can't
in life.
lose.
Just if you don't try, you can't lose.
I'll remember that when we play Codenames later.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm actually undefeated against you right
Are
now.
you?
I am.
How many games did they play? How many
Isn't
games did you guys play
everyone-
earlier?
I'm gonna make everybody
know,
play
we played
Puerto
like 7
Rico. I
games
brought it.
yesterday.
I'm gonna make him play.
I played one game as the leader, the guy that gave out the hints. I got super tilted and triggered, and I left. I was like, I'm done with this game.
That's
See you
every day
later.
of your life. You didn't have to tell us
How
that
can
story.
you leave during a Codenames game?
No, I left after the game was over. 'Cause
Oh,
I got
okay.
tilted.
You played it through.
You were watching that game. I was like, they were like, oh, we need to get the hot one. I'm like, I was thinking in my head, you got the hot one 2 guesses ago. You fools, don't do this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was one with like Star and something else.
It was
right?
rough. It was rough for me
okay.
for sure.
Well, speaking of you quitting, when we play Puerto Rico later, hopefully you can finish the game
Don't
out this
you
time.
dare, Kevin, talk to me about Puerto Rico. I'm gonna get some bad memories from that freaking game.
It's okay. Slacks isn't here.
That's
so
true. Slacks isn't here.
It would be a one-man corn screamer.
It would be Grant.
Okay.
So
If you guys want to play later? It's a fun game.
there's a story that
I'm
people
always
aren't. There's a story here that people aren't getting, but we'll tell later, I'm sure.
Also, I believe Dota related, we have a draft.
We do have a
Nope,
draft.
you did
All
not
right.
just hear a Dota hero.
Okay.
That was Slacks.
Well, I
saying
saw it like
corn.
I can't actually see either of your screens because, you know.
Yeah.
But I can see the window behind Maud.
Oh.
And the window reflects
that's
the
good.
screen. Yeah.
Can you, if you were just looking off the window, can you tell what heroes are banned currently?
I don't have my glasses on, so no.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
What if like the distance
What's
happened
even
to
worse
get the
if you-
perfect amount of blurriness for him to see it?
That would be
be-
next
that would
level.
be
No,
sick.
it's pretty bad because like, so for the TV I can see because it's only a couple of feet away, and I can make out like the shapes, so I know what heroes they are. But if it's any farther than that, it's basically like a kaleidoscope.
Can
and
you
I
see
just-
the shapes? Can you see the first Radiant ban?
It's Io.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well done, Andy.
Amazing.
But the only reason I know that is because I know what the icon looks like already.
Yeah.
If I didn't know what it looked like, I would be like, no idea.
It's because you remember what patch we're playing.
Yeah.
Then you just know.
There was a real good chance
fair,
that
too.
he could guess Io if he didn't have eyes right now.
That's
I
true.
think.
That's entirely fair.
You could probably guess most of these bans based on the teams that are playing.
Yeah.
Like Wyvern ban, not surprising, against Wind and Rain. Magnus ban from Wind and Rain because they know how good that hero is. So
Do you guys think it's interesting that BlinkPool banned Wyvern, whereas OG was just playing against it and now playing it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a different approach. I think OG are on a different level though, so maybe they feel a bit more confident with some of their solutions.
But Wonderland have also been opening that Winter Wyvern +1 like against most teams, I would say.
Yeah, they have. BlinkPool's bans make a lot of sense though. The Switch Doctor has become very, very popular in the EU region. Basically replacing Warlock as the lane sustain support. Its heal is overall stronger per second by a bit, and it's 100% uptime as long as you can keep your mana going. You have a stronger attack animation. You have a stun. You have Maledict. So you have basically have the thing you pick Warlock for in lane plus kill potential in that lane.
Yeah.
And what you sacrifice is you have less team fight, but you're also less cooldown reliant. And we've just seen every team play Witch Doctor, actually, in this.
I think being cooldown
Yeah.
reliant is a huge problem, at least in these particular qualifiers. I know the other regions were picking stuff like Void and sometimes Enigma, but here, no one really likes to pick that long a cooldown because you just get ran over. The way OG play, it seems like people are trying to adapt more and more to their style, just quick tempo, try to win the game within like 25, 35 minutes.
well, that leads me to my next question. If the Witch Doctor's not available, do you think about going the Warlock even with the long cooldown and the fact that it's not been doing that well in this particular tournament?
Not this early. I think picking in first phase is a little bit dangerous.
I just meant in general, theoretically.
Some teams have still done it. I saw it in one of the NA games last night at least. But it definitely feels more like a situational pick right now.
Okay.
Phantom Lancer. I think this is the one hero. Has Madara lost with this? Once. I think.
He's had a couple of sick games with it, but I don't know if he's lost.
Did he lose with it yesterday to Wind and Rain in the 2-1? Because I remember he won one game with PL. I think it was banned in the other two. He played an Anti-Mage and played Medusa.
Banned. Yeah.
Yeah. But the game they won, they had Phantom Lancer. It seems like their most stable carry pick for him.
I really like picking in this position too. You get the free protection ban, you can take out the Ember Spirit, which they've already done. It's really good against Wind and Rain's opening. Both these heroes are really bad against Phantom Lancer. So now Wind and Rain have a very clear problem that they need to address.
What do you pick as a solution here? The classic counter picks to PL would be something like Sven.
I really think DK is a lot easier to...
Dragon Knight.
Yeah, I think DK is probably my go-to. If I run their position, it's something that can... the main reason is it's lane flexible. So you're not putting yourself in a situation where it's like, okay, this hero has to go safe lane. And that way you can maybe get more favorable lanes with that.
It's a Warlock ban.
Let's see if BlinkPool will actually take it out.
Skywrath might start looking interesting depending on where they want to put the Wind Ranger, because now both of the lane-sustaining supports are out. Witch Doctor and Warlock have been banned. It also makes Axe better. I think that's the hero Wind and Rain want. Possibly.
Skywrath, you mean?
No, Axe.
Oh, Axe. Okay.
I think it has potential here. It goes a bit both ways, because it's super good against PL, but I generally don't like playing against Naga, just because when you blink call you can song, and you can counterplay the Axe, but it really depends what items you have and what the timing is. That's a pretty good Shadow Fiend ban too, though.
Yeah, the Clockwork.
PL just feels to me like a core that just doesn't get punished, like one of the few carries that feels comfortable picking this early.
I think it's just a byproduct of the heroes that are typically good against him aren't necessarily always good in lane. Like Sven, for example, I think is like mediocre, and you can definitely punish him with like some kind of Wind Ranger lane, for example.
And all those timings just don't add up they don't match up well in the current meta. It feels like getting Battle Furies or Cleaves and things like it's not easy to do unless you have a Magnus.
Battle Fury buyers just don't exist right now either. So if you buy Battle Fury in this patch, it feels like you just lose the game.
Yeah. There's the Phoenix ban. It's a hero Saxa likes. It's a great combo with Naga Siren. Easy setup for all of Phoenix's spells, really. And also a hero that... Damn. A hero that deals well with Clockwork as a support. Unless if Clockwork is on top of you and you can't dive away, but just in general in fights, you have... Clockwork's going to go in and you can counterplay him really fast. Someone gets cogged in, you just Sunray, and you kill Clock and save your ally at the same time.
I have a question. Is Toby still here?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
Feel free to jump in, Toby.
Hey, I'm just waiting for the right time, the right place, you know?
It's not yet.
It's when the drought picks.
It's this. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay,
let's wait until there's a team fight. Then I
we
can
forgot
talk.
about our watery friend, actually.
I still don't like this matchup.
Against
really
PL, Morphling against PL. Feels weird.
It's just comfort. I think, in my mind, Morphling is a pretty broken hero right now if you can just get him a head start in lane. Because there's like nothing that can stop this guy from denying, almost. Morphling level 3 with just an Aquila or something, or level 4 with an Aquila, I'm not sure when exactly you would get it, has like 120 damage in lane.
Yeah.
And he's almost impossible to kill. One of the downsides of PL in this matchup is, yes, he can charge the Morphling and fight him with a Diffusal Blade, but he can't really kill him unless there's like a lot of lockdown. Morph can always just weave in and out of the fight and play around. So
my idea behind the Morph PL matchup is once you mana burn him, you don't necessarily need to even kill him in the first place. Because when he's out of mana, he can't wait for him, no adaptive, no E-Blade, stuff like that. So you kind of just, you treat him like an axe when you're playing PL. Once the hero's out of mana, he's no threat to you. So you can just go on anyone else and kill them. And the other two matchups that they have, the Clock and the Wind Ranger, do literally nothing to Phantom Lancer.
I don't think it's easy to mana drain him, though. Between like waveforming around and dispelling disables by morphing into somebody, I don't think it's going to be simple.
It depends on what stage in the game it is. I think once you have the Phantom Rush talent, unless the Morphling waveforms into Fog, which is going to be really hard against the Skywrath because you're going to have vision all the time, I think you can chase him no matter where he goes.
There's another PL solution, or at least one of their first.
I like that one a bit more, yeah. I like that pick.
He just gets tanky, then Skywrath Mage won't kill him, then PL's going to be limited.
Where's the Undying? That's what I'm waiting for.
So there's the one thing that I really like about this pick is you look at how BlinkPool draft and who plays what, and it's always Madara on the PL, and it's always safe lane. So what are you going to do as BlinkPool to solve this? Naga is not a good support against Underlord in lane. Skywrath is okay, but Underlord can sustain pretty well, and PL just barely touches you, right? Like you send this Underlord Wind Ranger lane against the PL, and I just don't see anything winning that lane. The Underlord's just going to free farm against the PL, and PL will be losing farm to the Firestorm. So what usually you do when you see this is you swap your lanes around and you put another hero against Underlord that can win the lane. Such like traditionally you've had like Monkey King or Ursa a long time ago. Neither of those heroes are picks that we've really seen out of BlinkPool. So what Kaiser pick even beats Underlord in lane? Out of all the heroes they've played, I haven't seen a single one that comes to mind.
They may have to go with something more traditional like a Razor if they really want the lane win.
Yeah, but that's a bad matchup against Morphling, I think.
It is, but I think that your PL compensates for that, and you still have like okay team fight with the song. You have ways of killing the Morph.
But then you're putting PL mid, right?
Yeah.
They can try to solve it with their offlane pick. This is pretty clever.
Wow.
This is a bad matchup for Underlord. I like this. I like this approach a lot. Having Kezo's hero solve it instead, and then you probably just aggro with the PL into the Morphling lane. I don't think it's going to be fantastic, but it is definitely a possible solution to the problem that they have. They don't want this Underlord matchup for their Lancer, and this is one of the traditional offlaners that beats Underlord in lane. He just has no solution to sticking Napalm Firefly. So
the tri-lane just feels way better on PL's on BlinkPool side anyways, just because Morphling is not the best tri-lane hero.
This is a really good tri-lane.
Like Sky, PL, Naga, once they're level 2, they do tons of damage. They have lots of decent disable, which feels very strong. And then Bat matching up against all of When It Rains heroes, he's pretty happy too. Doesn't have to worry about clock too much. Matches up okay against Underlord. Can give him some grab later on. It's like they can choose fights so much better with the Bat line. Normally I don't like Bat that much, but considering they also have Naga sleep and stuff like that, it's like they get to choose the fights, is what it feels like.
So now you would assume both teams are looking for their mid laner. Something like the DK is still available for Wind and Rain if they want it.
Yeah, we got a DP ban here. I think this is showing us that Wind and Rain might want to play a bit of a slower game. They're looking at, okay, what can BlinkPool possibly pick that they can end the game with fast? Because if we go late game with our Underlord Morphling, we feel comfortable into PL. That's what this tells me, that they aren't scared of the long stretch here. And this is a support counter to Batrider, so they're going to ban Oracle. I like that ban a lot. Obviously, Wind and Rain might not even be looking to pick a support anymore.
I was going to say, I could be mid-Wind Rangers still.
It could.
Yeah. But I think that
also removes the option.
That also gives, I think, Wind and Rain a bit of an advantage, too, because it's very easy for them to switch it up on the last pick, because they have overall last pick now. So whatever BlinkPool decides to put in the mid lane, whether it be, like you said, the trial lane, or maybe they just decide to put PL there anyway.
I'm pretty sure they last pick a hero for Kaiser. He doesn't play any of the 4 they have right now in mid.
Yeah, I just made that Wind and Rain. I still think have the pick advantage here.
Yeah, I would agree if they can solve the Batrider lane. That's the only thing that worries me for Wind and Rain, is how much this Batrider can do. Because I would say the Radiant has okay solutions for PL. It's not fantastic, but if their last pick also adds to the PL countering, they definitely have options. There's another nice thing about the Batrider pick, by the way. I think it's pretty good with Naga.
Yeah, definitely is.
During Song, you start preparing the Firefly, you start getting in position.
Oh, wow.
Actually going to do
They
it.
did it.
Damn. So they double countered Underlord now. This is, however, going to make mid lane a bit awkward, because Razor has some bad matchups. And if you're Wind and Rain now, you can basically force this Razor to go safe lane by putting a mid hero that beats Razor. And then if that Razor does go safe lane to face against the Underlord, sure, that's tough, but you can win that one-on-one, or yeah, you can win the one-on-one against the Lancer then.
Yep.
I'm not exactly sure what BlinkPool's idea is here, because both side lanes are covered against Underlord, but nobody in mid is going to feel great here. You could even put Morphling mid against Razor. I think that's a winnable matchup, to be honest. Could be a bit wrong on that. I'm not 100% sure.
They could have the idea of dual laning, and maybe they just put the PL and the Sky mid.
That could be what they're looking at.
Yeah,
and then
I think that you put the Naga Bat in bottom.
And just leave Razor completely solo top?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
He's going to get crushed.
Well, he might, like, the idea is that you have 2 good lanes, and the hero that has a good lane is the hero you want to have the good lane, which is the PL.
True.
And worst case scenario, you know, if Batrider's bottom, he can definitely be left alone. And then you can just move the Naga top if the lane is bad.
I think playing Razors from behind is really difficult.
It is,
yeah.
But
like
that's
if this guy gets
why
crushed in lane, he's not even a hero.
That's why you can TP the Naga, but we'll see what happens.
Standard pick here for Wind and Rain.
The lanes are super important for both teams. Yeah. More so probably for BlinkPool than Wind and Rain.
I feel like Lina doesn't lose a single matchup here in mid. Not at all.
Not.
So you gotta help mid or accept that is a lost lane and win the other 2. And let's see what BlinkPool choose to do. I'm not really sure what I prefer, to be honest. But they have the good solutions for Underlord in the side lanes. Yeah.
I still think dual laning mid is the best option for BlinkPool.
Is it even going to do that much, though? I feel like they're just going to go
as
even
long
and use
as
two heroes
long as
for
the
it.
PL gets farm, even if the Lina trades, like Cinderin said, there's no bad matchup for the Lina at all in this game, no matter who walks there. But you can at least ensure that your PL is not going to get completely shut down.
So who are you going to help then? Are you going to help your Bat or your Razor?
I think you help the Razor.
You help the Razor,
Yeah.
and you leave Bat solo bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to get
Bat can recover. That's I always look at it as even if the Bat has a very bad lane, you're still going to get your blink before 20 minutes.
Yes, I guess.
Yeah. That's how I
sounds
see it.
pretty
at
late,
least.
though.
It is late, but
I don't know. This is actually my biggest problem with the BlinkPool draft. I think if their lanes don't go very well, they have such a steep recovery curve. It's one of the problems that they've had. If Razor needs to catch back up and Batrider needs to catch back up, nobody's making plays.
that's true.
So that could happen once again. It's one of the traps they've fallen into in a couple of their drafts. I think I'm going with Wind and Rain for this one. I feel like the laning is going to be simpler for them. The things that need to happen are easier to execute.
Same. Going with the boys. NA Dota.
NA Dota. Purge.
They're better at drafting me. Yes, I'll defer to them. Yeah, Batrider seems a bit iffy and has sort of inconsistent results. I feel like I haven't seen a Batrider winning game in a while. It's been a while. So.
Yeah, it just.
Here's one of those classic pauses by Wind and Rain.
We're probably going to be sitting at this pause screen, I would assume, for a while. So strap in, folks. We might be here for.
This is one of those let's pause the game and talk about our lanes for a moment pauses that Wind and Rain specializes in. Did this 2 of the 3 games in the or 1 of the 2 games of the OG series, I think.
Okay, so if you're
I didn't realize we had a tactical timeouts.
Imagine specializing in pausing.
They actually
How
haven't.
sad is that?
It just happens. There's always a pause. Almost always a pause.
At least they paused in game instead of pausing at the end of the draft.
I
I don't know what's
okay,
better, to be
I
honest.
guess. Oh, so we can actually look at the heroes instead of just staring at the anime screen.
Sure.
Or
So
something.
just to clear this up, at TI itself, so I'm not 100% sure what the rules say and how the system works, but at TI itself you can only pause for tech issues. The point is that it's supposed to be in a way where the draft is over and you have preparation time, and then it's go time, and you're not allowed to pause for a strategy or take timeouts or something. Yeah, I can understand Madara being a little bit frustrated here. OG
this
also
is 2 series in a row that they've done this.
OG also brought up yesterday a bit that they thought there was too much pausing happening after drafts were over. Because basically, this is like, you can debate if this is like who it favors, right? But let's say one team needs more time to think about their lanes and the other one's more prepared. You're basically giving an advantage to the team that's slower.
Yep. And they
You
also
can
have
actually see them
supposed to be a
drawing on the
skill,
map. They're actually drawing on the map right now, talking about different areas. So yeah, this.
They haven't written a single thing in all chat yet. I actually think that admin should have written something a long time ago, to be honest.
Is there something in the rules during the qualifiers for this?
I believe,
So-
based on the discussion that happened in the lobby chat yesterday, there is a 10-minute total pause time, but that's supposed to be for like tech issues and stuff. And they still haven't. I don't know. I find this a little bit obnoxious because literally
All right,
everybody
but-
is waiting. And
Yeah, Misery, the entire BlinkPool lineup is like, we're ready. We can go whenever. Well, let's get this started. But there's not been a single word uttered by Wind and Rain at this point in the game. Not even a single emote either.
and all the admin typed was, "May the force be with you guys." Thank you, Fear SC. I really appreciate that.
My God, Madara.
He's going in. He's having a good old time.
This is real annoying. Especially because they got talked. I'm mostly annoyed because they got talked about this in a lobby chat yesterday, and now they're it's a new team, so they're what very much looks like to be abusing it again. And they actually still haven't written anything in all chat except for some.
I mean, worst case scenario, they get
punctuation.
a slap on the wrist and they change the rules.
I mean, they're smart to, if they're getting away with it, it's smart for them to do it.
Fuck
I mean,
that, Mott.
I agree.
That's why we are here.
It's bad for us.
Okay, so-
personally.
No. I think that's a shitty way to look at the world, personally.
Okay,
Yes, you
fine.
can abuse rules for the competitive
Yeah, Mott.
whatever, but come on, guys.
Okay, so benefit of the doubt, right? Like, you can.
That's all they got.
Yeah, it's basically benefit of the doubt.
But they haven't written anything in chat yet.
Oh.
If their house is not on fire right now, if there's not like a home invader, like one guy on their team could be like, "Hey guys, this is what's going on, by the way." But no, nothing. Literally
They
nothing.
haven't actually said anything.
We get it from BlinkPool instead. Yeah, one person's going to piss himself, and then he'll be back in a second. That's it.
Sounds very sarcastic.
Well,
to
if
me.
he's gonna piss himself, why does he have to get up for that?
It's like I'm just gonna find the rule sets. It's like it's right next to don't use macros.
Was that just one of those things that everybody is supposed to know, but apparently a couple idiots didn't follow the,
I'm sorry.
obvious guidelines?
It needs to be explicitly put in the rules. It's like those signs at a construction zone. There is a hole. Don't walk into it.
You're not allowed to use the bathroom to gain an unfair advantage. I think we need that one
I'm
as
sorry.
well.
In that case, I require my bathroom to actually be at my desk, just
Oh,
to actually
that's-
balance things up.
They would still pause though.
You
Did
can just
you
cut
hear,
a
like,
hole in the
I-
bottom of your chair. I don't see the problem.
This is getting really creative right now.
You know IKEA is actually releasing a brand new like wave of gaming furniture and chairs and stuff. Maybe we've hit
It's
the great
about
idea
time.
for them.
I think the only way that this is going to really punish Wind and Rain is if they are spending like it as of the last OG match, they said that we'll use our 10-minute time. That's what Wind and Rain said.
Yes.
But if they actually have a tech issue, they should be forced to resume. I'm not even kidding, because they're literally abusing their
The admin said they
coverage
had 5
pause.
minutes.
They
Admin just said they had 5 minutes.
They didn't even say they were like using the restroom. They didn't say there was any
Yep.
tech issues. But while I was looking at the chat constantly, they didn't say a single thing while the draft or while this is
now
happening.
Misery clarifying, you have a 10-minute pause per game, which isn't really what the pause is for. It's for tech issues technically, but the way Wind and Rain is using it as a tactical pause, just because it's them or us. What does that even mean? Is he?
Ritsu is such a.
He just writes the most inflammatory things in chat. It's truly incredible.
Seb, are you fucking mad? That was the question he asked yesterday.
He wrote that to him like twice pregame.
Classic Ritsu.
I mean, there is
I'd
definitely.
just like to thank all of North America. North America, you have done Europe proud.
What are you talking about, Toby? This is a Europe qualifier. This
NA
is on
Dota.
Europe. This is on
NA
Europeans.
Dota.
What can I say?
NA Dota. This is NA Dota.
NA pause.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. Disqualify these guys. It's over. Come on, this is getting ridiculous.
That's what
Good
Madara
game,
said,
good game,
actually.
boys.
Madara said the same exact thing as you just said. This is getting ridiculous, although he spelled it wrong, but that's right. I'm not going to put that on him.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Ready to go.
Hey,
Ready to
there
go.
we go.
Hey, we did it! All right, so
Hey!
we got Toby from abroad and Purge cast this game. We're going to send it over to them, folks.
Thanks, Mort. I am totally going to just take that and make shirts and make money off Mort's ideas.
Yep.
It's brilliant. Thank you, Moonduck, for funding TobiWan Studios.
No problem, dude. Are you anti-biased towards
how-
Wind and Rain as well right now?
Am I biased towards them? I'm
Against
not
them.
biased towards them. I like their draft. I
Okay.
really
Yeah.
like their draft. I think I'm a big believer in the leaners making their way up more and more in the mid lane. It just seems to be a great answer, especially to illusion-based heroes. But yeah, their draft just seems so easy to execute. As long as Forever gets farm and he gets tankier, like what really is BlinkPool going to be able to do?
They can lasso people into death. Is my
That sounds like a
initial
good
thought.
plan.
It is a plan.
As long as they don't lasso the Underlord, and as long as they kill the Morphling before the lasso ends.
Yeah, which is not always easy, but at least they do have the outplay potential of an August Iron ulti. That's one good thing, and Razor static link can be good, but I do expect Lina to have a relatively nice time mid. Definitely agree
Yeah.
that the Razor's kind of situational, and picking it before the last pick is kind of scary. So, but
Well, Sim was talking about it, right? Like, as long as they get a good matchup against the Razor, then
Yep.
BlinkPool have to do something about it. But how much do you want to do about that? You're still running this dual off lane with the PL as well as the Skywrath. Doesn't really seem like a lane that you can just take the Skywrath off and have Madara still fight farm.
yeah, it might be tough. I wonder why they didn't do something like Lina themselves to protect their lane a little bit more. Maybe they're worried about a TA or something, but yeah, just a little bit of trading here.
They're already
and
lane switching.
this was,
Ritsu's going north and Forev's coming south.
This was 3
They,
bounty runs, by the way, for BlinkPool. So already off to a
Yep.
good start.
Hey, it's huge, man. 40 for everyone. Okay, so top lane, at least the win rate is going to be there to buy time for the Morphling, so not much is going to be lost from the cause. And Millen's going to keep the bottom lane under control, so this rotation is not going to hurt that much. Does BlinkPool instantly TP to rotate out, knowing that you've actually already had Wall walk it?
It's only worth doing that if they teleported to get the lane. But what all pros do now is they just walk there. That way, they know that by the time if there is a lane swap from the enemy team, they can match it. So for now, it's just Misery's going to do as much harassment as he can. He's doing okay up here. But so far, every lane going about even, I guess. Kaiser went for a static link, and it's already run out. Just looks like
It does
trading.
feel like one of the, straight up trading. It's when Naga gets picked number 1 that I cry.
Why?
That's not when Na'Vi loses, when Naga gets picked one. Because just such a... I find it very boring in lane for harassing early on.
It's good, though. Come on. It's 120 damage with 1 Riptide skill. He's getting double Riptides here. He's hitting 2 heroes. He's got high armor. He's got to be a little careful, of course, but, I mean, he's trading not bad right now. At the least, Kezu is getting last hits. He's up to 6 now. He's going to be able to afford a fast. He's actually going to go on the Morphling here.
After the Morphling.
The
they have a lot. There's 4 sticky napalms. He doesn't have level 2. He just picked it up. Waveform away. No! Mid-animation. Ritsu turns into a puddle.
Naga Siren is just so boring in lane, Toby. He's just so boring in lane. I don't know what it is.
He's terrible, Purge. Absolutely terrible. I just don't like it. So
what was so cool about that is that they basically just hit 2 before their opponents. I don't know if they have much superior denies, but Misery was definitely harassing a lot. All of a sudden, they hit this timing. Ritsu didn't quite pick up 2 fast enough. It was a really good finding of a kill. That's something that you would not expect to happen looking at the enemy lineup. You're like, yeah, Morphling doesn't die here. No problem.
Yeah. But Ritsu at least will have some escape. Won't be so great for Wind Ranger. She's actually just starting her TP already. Kitrak knows he just can't outrun that. Millen might be in more trouble too on the bottom lane. Cogs up. Madara's right behind him. Sakska can't actually reach that far. Lands off cooldown, but they don't have vision around the tree line into Millen, so he'll just salve up to safety.
So slight laning advantage for the Razor in the mid lane. Braille did just get a sentry and deward his enemy ward, though, so it's going to be a little bit harder for him to know when to come forward with the Static Storm, or the Static Link to steal damage.
Is it really a huge advantage as well for the Razor? Like, you get Light Strike to rate, okay, that doesn't help when the Static Link wastes. But the magical pop damage of the Lina, isn't it Razor who's under more threat once Lina hits 6?
Yes, and it's more of like a long, as the lane continues, he's just going to spam a lot more Dragon Slave, basically. But if Razor is able to sap a lot of damage, like get maybe 30, 40 kind of damage, then that means Razor's just going to get every last hit, more or less, outside of the stuff that Lina uses her nukes for. So as long as Razor can offset the nuke harass, which isn't too hard to do, then he can certainly sustain the right-click harass if he saps enough damage. So that's why the vision's kind of important. It finds you the right moments. It's going to allow you to know when your opponent's trying to last hit, and you'll dodge more nukes as well. So it's a really nice thing for Braille that he was able to deward that. I'm not sure whose sentry it was originally, but nice pickup, by the way, for them.
Anything to give your mid laner an advantage and rotate off the lane.
Yep. Or just stay in the lane and make sure Razor goes mediocre.
That's one thing I liked about the way OG run their mid. They're able just to bounce out real quick and just get a kill with the mid laner and get him back into the mid lane to never even lose that presence.
Yep, and always be ready to fight.
Yeah. Look for the same type of thing to come in from War with their Lina rotation. I want to see which lane's going to pop off. Madara and Tusker. Okay, there we go. There's at least the first cog to lock in Madara. But for Rev, he's got 2 points up in the Firestorm.
Yep.
It's just not really enough damage to at least threaten the PL.
The nice thing,
especially when there's so many stick charges.
They can deal with the PL though, at least, which is kind of nice, because normally if you just spam illusions all over the place, that means battery assault is not going to work. And that's kind of what Milan's doing. He's trying to just harass as much as he can, but it's hard against the PL. Any doppelganger, if he ever catches the Skywrath Mage, there's going to be illusions there, and it means that the trade won't go very well. But with Firestorm at least, it'll be slightly more offset. And Frev's going to take a lot of damage on here, actually. No,
yeah, he's actually been left alone. They rotated up to go for the rune, and for Rev, he's still got 9 stick charges. The doppelganger underneath the tower, now 10 stick charges will trigger off for Rev with that extra life. Madara has to commit a little bit longer under the tower, but at the same time, Ritsu dying on top lane. The Batrider will sacrifice himself for the kill. They went in real deep for this one. And hey, Misery, greatest ensnare of his life. He's going to take both of the 5-minute bounty runes now because of it.
Not just great, but very interesting to watch, you know? Just exciting and ensnare. Naga Siren, man, what a lane support. But the fact that they killed the Morphling a second time now, and they've also dealt with the Underlord, they're just kind of winning their lanes all over the place. Maybe not by a huge amount, but this seems like a genuine BlinkPool advantage. Kind of something we maybe expected, or an advantage that they were hoping to get. Oh my god,
going again on top lane. Ritsu, he just doesn't have the life. He'll have to waveform away, but on the power shot, Kitrak doesn't need anyone with that. The flame break should be able to take him out with 5 sticky napalm charges on him.
That's actually, man, Ritsu's making some pretty big mistakes here. So basically what's happening is he's getting like 2 napalms up, and then he's getting ensnared. And what he needs to do is he needs to waveform dodge and snare. Or he needs to realize like, hey, I've got 2 napalms on me. Batrider might jump on me. I need to be ready for an ensnare to come, because as soon as the ensnare hits, he's screwed. Because Morphling can get like 3, 4 stacks on him, start moving ahead to where the waveform should be going, and as a result, he had to go to the side like that, which means he's definitely screwed, because Bad already has boots, windlace, and he can just chase him down. So 2 deaths now on Morph, 3 deaths actually. That is insane. a really good start for BlinkPool.
Wondering how long it's going to be before they start to change up the lanes, but right now Forev needs to be down here against Madara. BlinkPool started their rotation. They brought the Skywrath to the mid looking for a kill, but the Observer Wards of both sides actually scattered out. I have since lost their obs. But it's definitely BlinkPool trying to make the change in momentum. So Skywrath's come back down to the bottom lane again. It failed in mid.
I love this bottle transfer they gave to the Naga Siren. As the rune spawned, he just passed it over. He ends up getting a haste rune on the Naga, and then he can give the actual bottle back to Kezu when he needs it. But offensively wise, this is really useful. He can actually gap close and get the ensnares he may need. But mid lane's pretty much going even. Kaiser's going to be content with his current lane position. Lina's going to a little bit ahead, but they're relatively close. So just across the board, slight BlinkPool advantage.
Slight. It's about 2k. Actually, it just went down to 2k net worth advantage. I think Misery's waiting on that top lane, coming in through the side. Ritsu, there's your 3 sticky napalms. Got ensnared up. Shackle from Kitrak will create a little bit more space, but with that haste rune, Misery could just keep up with him. They tried to try to push Kezu back, but the flame break repositions Ritsu, and with the Riptide, they go through him so quickly, and another instead. This fight's gone on so long. Misery already got it back again, so they'll catch 2 kills up on the top lane. The dream start for a Batrider. That drum of endurance is going to be real quick.
It's been a long time since I saw a Batrider dominate a lane like this, but I just think the winning rain is just maybe misplaying this a little bit. I think another issue is that Ritsu's not really strength morphing until things are really hitting the fan. And I think when that first starts happening every time, he just needs to go heavy into strength morphing. There's no reason not to start it early. He's got 2 points in it. The ship rate's not terrible.
Zuxa locked in inside the cogs. Forev just walks himself over. With that Firestorm, he's able to find the damage, and Madara also doesn't have an escape. He's already used Doppelganger. He'll get the kill onto Millen. But here comes Firestorm, back off cooldown. Madara gets hit by this, and he'll actually burn out. 19 HP, and he doesn't. He'll actually survive, gets out of range of it.
That was pretty dangerous, but it works out. I don't know, man. 4 deaths on Morphling. This just has not worked out the way that they expected it to, but that first kill kind of changed everything. Morphling is about equal. Last hits is bad, but
TP won't be in time.
Brawl getting a solo kill top here. That was an invis rune that he picked up, shifted up here, and found the bat standing under tower. So kills back and forth.
Be done with this.
How did they kill the Underlord down there? Just regular stuff?
He basically just got locked in. They TP'd down with a Skywrath Mage, salved up Madara, and then they just ran at him.
Gotcha.
Very, very, very simple. And there's nothing left for him with the Firestorm. Like, he had no mana.
So 67 last hits on the Lina right now. He's going to kill the stack small camp as well. But he's actually staying in the off lane. Maybe this is their way to try to stabilize the Morphling.
They want more kills. Kitrak's going to be in the neighborhood. The Shackle, it'll latch. They're going to chain their stuns. Not perfectly, but it works.
That's solid. 2 points on Shackle Shot this early is a bit abnormal, but considering how much damage Power Shot does with few levels, this is a good way to help guarantee these kills. And Brawl just basically staying here. And the other cool thing is that in the meantime, they shifted Clockwork mid, knowing that he was going to spend all this time top. They're going for the chase, though.
Yeah, Morphling on the chase, coming closer towards the Batrider. They get the Light Striker raise off, and Batrider, sticky napalmed up himself, can't turn out of the fight.
It's a good move. Better way for Morphling to deal damage, actually, is just take over Batrider, because pretty much all of Morphling's, or all of Batrider's damage is based on his first 3 skills, so kind of a cool way to take advantage here.
I'm wondering, too, if this is also intentional. Obviously, you're getting the drum build coming in for the Batrider, but this will have to delay the Blink Dagger initiation, which... Oh, nice Shackle. Actually, they're going to Light Striker raid this, too. No mana for Laguna Blade, so they can't kill off Misery easy. Clockwork dies in the meantime. No missing uphill, so Clockwork died trying to go for the bouncy rune.
Here, though.
Oh, yeah, he is. Here's the Plasma Field, starts the Static Link. No Phase Brutes off cooldown yet.
I was kind of wondering when Razor would rotate like this, because what Lina's been doing has actually been so effective. Just actually hanging out top, jungling, so it's like not the fastest farm, but it's also meaning that anytime they get a catch, that's going to be another kill top. So they've really offset things a bit here. But finally Razor rotating, offsetting that, getting the Lina kill.
Like how fast Forev just TP's out, but he doesn't do it fast enough. The lasso able to connect, pulling him back up again with all that sticky napalm. There are no TP supports coming in. Just to walk to the other side of his pit and let another Hellfire down. Anything to try and do some kind of damage to justify his death.
And now Misery is a level 7 here, probably picking up the tome. But great levels across the board on BlinkPool. They're a little bit ahead still. Those 2 little rotations, 2k gold for them now. And
what a perfect time for a Razor to move off. Clockwork's hunting. He would have actually hit the hookshot if Razor stuck around 1 wave longer.
And he's had a pretty good game so far. I mean, he's level 10 already picked up. He goes for the agility perk, normal stuff. He's going to go for a fast 4 staff. That way he doesn't have to worry about clockwork. And now he can kind of be just really aggressive in these team fights. Like, it's a long time until Morphling finishes his Lincoln, so there's a lot of heroes that Razor can offset right now with this good start. But there's a smoke coming. Bryle as well as the Wind Ranger. 3 points in Shackle Shot now. It's a 3.2 second stun if he gets a catch. And this is kind of what they need. They need to chain stun a hero like Naga or a hero like Phantom Lancer and get the follow-up stunning kills. And this way, Lena's a really good pick.
Well, they know where she is. Well, he is.
Smoke lasts
He's
for a
hiding
bit
up in the
longer.
trees. Ritsu playing bait game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They don't have time on this smoke. It's only got another 3 seconds left. Yeah, they just creep skip it out now. But bottom lane is where everything was starting to prepare. Skywrath Mage already begins his TP up to the tier 2 on top.
Radiant's bottom
They were skipping so hard just to get the tier 1 tower on bottom gone. Some kind of trade-off.
Yeah, Madara's trying to slow it down. He can always doppelgang and TP out if needed, but or he could just run in from the backline. He's thinking about it.
Yeah, they're not committing. That tower's is 2 points, 2 HP away from deny range.
Interesting.
So perfect time to pull out.
And Razor's also just been jungling a lot in this time period. He is spotted by the Radiant side, so maybe this is why they're being slightly aggressive, but maybe overstaying their welcome a little bit. Sometimes if you stay that long for a push, it can be really bad. Your enemy team will realize how many are there, they'll rotate more heroes, and then it's just going to lead into something negative. But might be the opposite way now. Kezu sitting on the offlane is actually changing up, going to be going for a blink now, not going to finish his drums. I think this is a great choice, just because he's had this early great start, but having to rely on movement speed to gap close is just a bit dangerous, it feels like.
Well, they're coming in closer. That Dire Observer Ward watching Ritsu inside the jungle, because the same thing is coming in from the Radiant Obs. Skywrath Mage, the smoke's going to wear off. Millen does not respond to it at all. He's watching him. I think he still wants to go for it. He's confident to do it with the Battery Assault level 4. There's enough damage to kill off the Skywrath Mage, but Mystic Flare still comes out, and he's got enough. Yep, finishes the job.
Ooh,
Mid
good
tower's
shackle.
gone down in the meantime, and well, keep running, Millen. He's got
Space created,
14
man.
one charges and a TP scroll.
under attack.
As long as he's far away from Ensnare, he can just TP out.
Yeah, with Tranquils, he's a lot faster than the Razors, and that Shackle was perfect. If not for the Shackle, I think he might have been able to keep a little bit close, get some damage sap, but Clockwork gets away, jukes a little bit. He's just creating a lot of space now.
Dire's top
And now they're going to go for
Coming
the
in
Razor.
for another fight. This will be a huge one. The Shackle! It launches from Kidrak. They're able to actually connect with the Power Shot and Laguna Blade and Battery Assault. And Razor, the critical hero of BlinkPool, goes down.
Such a useful ward, really. I mean, they were able to grab the Skywrath kill for free, create a lot of space there. Then they're able to rotate more heroes, get the Razor kill. And that was maybe the first reveal of them having vision in the area. BlinkPool's obviously going to know now, and maybe they'll go for some D-wards, but this ward got a lot of usage out of it. And basically, BlinkPool was able to just fully Winning Rain was able to fully outmaneuver BlinkPool in the last 5 minutes or so, just because of this deep ward.
They're so dangerous, too, after War had such a good start, keeping the Batrider down. Like, Batrider needs this Blink Dagger so they can be the aggressors. BlinkPool needs to be the ones jumping in. And they Firefly up now looking inside their own jungle, but they won't find anything.
He's so close to Blink, though. He's got 1,900 gold in the bank. That's still incredibly farm for a Batrider. And they've got such good damage as well between Phantom Lancer, having a Diffusal Blade finished already, and Skywrath Mage. They can kill heroes. They just need to initiate on them and grab them and get the damage follow-up without too much of a response.
Forever's taking no chances whatsoever, instantly burning his Dark Rift to get away.
It's a good idea.
It's Madara with the Diffusal Blade. He knows how fast the Pit Lord can just be. I mean, the Underlord burns out.
Radiant's bottom tower.
I just went Warcraft.
Look at all the wards on the map. BlinkPool has really good control of the enemy jungle, so he knew that was a very dangerous move. But now what's cool is Winning Rain are going to smoke into their own jungle to be looking for any heroes that they can find.
He didn't see him. He doesn't know he's in the trees. The Doppelganger out, the tree breaks, Kidrak walking underneath the Dire Obs. It's all the information for Madara to work with.
The tree being dead, yeah, he's going to see it. They see the dead trees now, he's looking for him. This is actually really scary for Madara now. But Sox is here as well.
Yeah,
there's a
this could actually be a counter gank.
There's Yules on the Lina, though.
Browse by himself. They left him alone. So they can come in, the Yule Scepter up quickly, can be sealed on the way back down again, and actually just Mystic Flare sealed.
Really well played by
Skywrath gets
Sox,
the
though.
kill.
And now they're
they
fighting
find
the jungle.
more. Blink lassos up, the Shackle will be able to connect him as well, so Millen can just walk it off and hook shots over to Kidrak. Begins his TP, the damage output from Razor will be enough to find the kill before the TP can complete.
I've never seen such a useless-looking Shackle before. Normally, any other hero would be like, man, this sucks, but he's grabbing damage, he's lowering his armor as well, and the Force-Staff pickup allows him to gap close. But either way, great play by Soxa there. He recognized that there's Eul's Scepter on Lina. He knows what's at stake, throws out the slow, saves the silence till after the Eul's ends, and then they're able to easily kill the Lina without too much response. So,
Ferev out too far. That Force-Staff from the Razor allows him to close the distance and begin the static leak. He's already stolen 140, 150, 160 points of damage, which now they can just pump into the tier 2 tower. Morphling may feel that this fight is on. Waveform's down. He wants to kill off the Razor. Razor still needs to get away from this tower with the Plaster Field. Does the run again.
Force in 5.
Oh, that's real good damage from the Lina, but cannot actually reach the Phantom Lance. The Doppelganger just far enough away. They're rocketing, looking the TP out from the Razor. Another Force-Staff usage. Such an early item being so useful for BlinkPool.
Yeah, pretty good engagement once again. Morphling trying to get into this fight, not really working out. Still very far away from his Linken's. He's missing about 2,000 gold. And Razor just grabbed another Ogre Axe, so he is so much further along in his itemization. BlinkPool feeling like the gold graph is even on these two teams, but it feels to me like BlinkPool has just been outplaying their opponents a little bit. They don't have a huge tower advantage or anything. In fact, they're behind on towers, but considering how they're playing these fights, I think I have a lot of faith in them going forward in the fight.
Yeah, it does feel a lot better. Like, to be honest, I thought that War would have a lot more powerful Morphling in this game. Thought the Underlord's, like, he's actually got what he kind of needed, and he's finished up the Pipe of Insight. So a lot of that magical damage from BlinkPool is going to be negated coming into the engagements.
It can also be dispelled, though. Like, Unstable Current, for example, can just break right through his barrier. I mean, they're going to deal so much magic damage and maybe it doesn't matter that much, but the Pipe Rush is kind of needed against Skywrath Mage, but it doesn't feel amazing considering that PL is almost all physical damage right now.
Mm-hmm. I love Misery's fast item. 18 minutes in for the Naga, just a straight-up Meteor Hammer.
It's a great pickup.
So his combination with Song of the Siren just became 10 times better.
Or even Ensnare. I mean, if he ensnares a Morphling, Morphling is going to get hit by this unless he burns his stun adaptive strike, I suppose.
Morphling's still trying to farm up the Ancients. They're getting heavily pressured in mid. The only counter the BlinkPool is going to have to worry about is that pushing Lina on top lane. So the creep wave already reaches the tier 2 tower.
It just seems like all the cores on Thunder and Rain are just Wind and Rain, sorry, are just a little bit too far behind right now. If Morphling has Linken's, if Lina has Shadowblade, which she just got now, everything feels so much better for them. But they're forced to play more defensive, not be able to take as many fights. And that was a really important tower that's pretty straightforward to defend, really. The bot tier 2 is going to be a lot harder. So as long as BlinkPool trades this, maybe, I think Wind and Rain will be semi-okay, but there's no way they can even contest. And that's a big issue going into the long run.
Well, they're at least having Ritsu doing his work on top. The Clockwork's in a good position to go for a hook. Second, he realizes Skywrath Mage is there. That Mystic Flare with the seal. The damage output is almost up to kill off the Morphling. It was worth the shot. But that's 4 heroes now from War up on the top lane pushing the tier 2. Yeah. The trade-off will be the tier 2 tower on bottom lane. But how quickly are BlinkPool moving? They come to mid lane. You're starting Underlord with that Dark Rift. There isn't enough damage or control to get him out of this.
I think that was absolutely worth trying. Because if Soxa secures that kill, that's kind of like a in-your-face, my 4 position just killed your 1 position. That's like a terrible, terrible place to be. So, very close. He ends up staying alive on Morphling. But he's actually going to catch a Clockwork mid. Going to slow things down a little bit. But they also got the tier 2. So, I guess they trade tier 2s. The support dies to the carry. But a couple moves like that, maybe one succeeds and they can get a big advantage. Still 400 gold still until Ritsu finishes his Linken's.
So Ritsu gets his Linken's. There's still some extra things to proc this, however.
Yeah.
Like even if Razor wanted to, he can just use his Force Staff on it.
Yeah, I think it's more likely it'll be Spirit Lance or a, I don't know, like Skywrath Mage, Arcane Bolt. They're going to probably want to cast that often in team fights.
Yeah,
but maybe not. There are good things that it counters for sure, and there's always the potential of Morphling just turning it into Razor, static linking the Razor. Razor tries to static link back, it breaks Linken, something like that. Like it's too dangerous for Razor to use his Force Staff here just to break a Linken Sphere. He needs that for himself, really.
Do you like this starting build from Madara where you go Diffusal and then directly into Heart?
Yeah, it's fine this game. A lot of times PLs will be buying hoods these days, just because it gives you, if you're getting lane harassed, you'll get a lot of passive regen basically and magic resistance. But in this game, there's not that much magic. It's basically just like Lina, some Morph E-Blade late game, maybe some Firestorm stuff, so he can just go away with the full technically greedy build, even though it's more standard. He's just going to power up his overall HP, and then Winter Rain's going to have a lot of trouble just dealing with the illusions. This is the right move this game, for sure. God, it's done already. This is insane. 21 minutes and he's got hard already? My God.
And now he's going to go into Amanda style. So at least he's got dodge effect and push effect. This Observer and Sentry, Millen's been playing around on top of her for the last, like, 2-3 minutes, which means they know exactly what they're getting into here, BlinkPool. Bad Rider began his TP. You actually want to finish the job here? Okay, you want to go instantly for the second kill. They won't find it. Wind Ranger TP's out in the tree line. But that line's being drawn in from Clockwork. It's like push mid or something around mid.
Yes, they know what's at stake here. It's looking scary with the PL this far ahead in terms of survivability and damage. He's essentially very close to impossible to gank right now for Wind and Rain. They would have to commit a lot of heroes to be able to pick him off, like at least 3 with perfect chain stuns if they can land it. And there's a lot of other BlinkPool heroes to worry about, especially because Razor's finishing his BKB. So they're going to move into Roche. I think this is a great move here. They're super far ahead. This is the best way for them to force their opponents to try to engage them, something they want to happen. And if they don't, then they're going to get a free Aegis, and then they can start forcing down towers even easier.
Looks like War's grouping up. Roshan's taking a very long time for BlinkPool to kill off, so they got time to react. The Clockwork Rocket flies in. The Naga Illusion's already trying to create that buffer to stop him hookshotting. But that's why you're seeing War wrapping around through the northern side. The Song of the Siren is out. But who is this really for? Who are they trying to kill off? So far, everyone just goes to sleep. Batrider finds his target. It's going to be the Lina up on the hillside. They want to kill her off quickly, pull her into the Mystic Flare, and they get it. The Clockwork hook shots himself in forward. Now the Scar is meant to be picked up by Ritsu, and he stands his ground up against the Phantom Lancer, but losing that life. At least they're able to avoid the Meteor Hammer. But they're going through more, and Farev says none of this. I want out. He's in range of all 4 heroes. The question is how many can survive? Millen will not. The rest will, and BlinkPool go back into Roshan to finish what they started.
Just a super great fight from BlinkPool there. The Morphling jumps in to try to be annoying to slow things down. Razor instantly breaks the Linkens with Force Staff, or somebody did, and he swaps Static Link. So Morphling caused some time to be spent at least, but by separating the Lina to the right side on the high ground, and then the Morphling to the bottom right, and the other heroes across the river, that gave Batrider finally an opening to snag a hero. And as soon as they killed the Lina, that fight was pretty much over. Clock tried to save her, but he was a bit too late. She died very rapidly, and then it was just the easiest teamfight win for BlinkPool. So really well played there by them, and lots of wards in the area to spot out their opponents.
When that fight happens and the Razor wasn't even carrying his BKB, that's going to be real scary for War going in further. The fact that BKB Razor is going to be walking quite freely around.
Yeah, and almost all of this, looking back at what we said in the draft, or what Sin said, the laning stage was not supposed to go this bad. Morphling got killed a lot of times against the Batrider. It's like one of the rare times where, like, Batrider has been played for years in the pro scene. A lot of people know what the weaknesses are, but they found this small little opportunity and they pushed it, which pushed them to a follow-up kill and a follow-up kill, and now Morphling's just playing from behind all game, and that's really hard when the rest of the BlinkPool team are on a good place.
And BlinkPool, I think, understands like how they win these fights now. Like, it wasn't just the heart. He also got the Hood of Defiance. He went back into it. So Madara is insanely tanky, and they've got that front liner to go high ground. PL TPing down to the bottom tier 1 tower, looking for a target. They don't really have one. The rest of War is already bailed out.
He's pretty much unkillable right now, is what it feels like. It would take so much from the enemy team to pick him off. The Hood, if anything, the one thing that actually does do a lot of damage previous to the Hood was the Firestorm, because it does percentage-based damage, and he just got himself a heart, so he's got a lot of health. I think the Hood is more than reasonable for how safe it is. It's a 1,700 gold item. It's not super expensive. It's slot expensive, but on top of the heart, his hero does not go down. He's going to stay alive through burst, and it just allows BlinkPool all these opportunities to find the right fights and the right kills. And when you've got a Batrider or Naga, that is just a huge advantage.
BlinkPool are hungry for the fight. Thanks to Lina's Shadowblade, she was just able to escape.
But this
and
is
she needs more time. Like she's even bought the recipe. She just wants to finish up the Lincoln Sphere, and the only way to do that is just let her farm up on top lane.
That's what's so hard about her position.
Like, how are you meant to do this when Ritsu is now babysitting Alina?
Yeah, like that's the Lina needs a Lincoln just to stay alive in these fights. Her Shadowblade is supposed to be a hybrid offensive, mostly an offensive item more than a defensive one, but she has to use it defensive because they're losing and there's a Batrider. It forces her gameplay to change. It's kind of like if you're playing against a Spear Breaker. But BlinkPool doesn't really care. Their opponents are going to have to play more inefficiently, and now they just get to go high ground.
Yep. and they're not there to really defend it. Lina can TP back, so can Millen, but it's taking some time.
Yep, they use a Crimson Guard that will slow down a pretty solid amount at least. But now as they back off, can
Hunting.
Wind and Rain get a kill on the backline? The sentry did spot the Lina though, so they know where she is. See if they try to fight her.
Well, that's why Misery setting the illusions up. Scout around, first TP's beginning. Millen only begins his TP now. They're going to see him. Blink Lasso is going to cancel it. And that's 30 seconds without a clockwork.
Yep. Not a huge loss there for Wind and Rain. It does force BlinkPool to back off briefly. In some ways, their high ground push mid was not super effective, but they should be going back mid now as a result of that kill.
That's exactly where they are.
And they want to force the fight. They've got Aegis. It's time. So time
The
to
only
go high
thing
ground.
that can delay them really is actually fortification.
Crimson.
Madara can tank through everything else. The Shackle won't latch. Media Hammer just allows Madara to stand continuously, but where's the creep wave? It's still coming in.
I mean, Crimson's actually stopping most of this. Between the passive from Underlord and the Crimson Guard, PL, his hero is hitting for like less than 20 damage before the fortification armor. So that does actually stop it. They don't even have to use a glyph just yet. The Crimson Rush here was so valuable.
Yeah, it doesn't even seem right that something like that should do that.
Well, it's just because the nature of PL, you know? Like PL, all of his illusions deal reduced damage, so a raw damage reduction from a damage block is going to counter it. And the way Underlord works with his passive reduces damage based on stats by 40%. So it's just like a perfect item for how the hero works. And the fact that it also affects buildings means that they can evade sieging a lot better. And that's really the one big weakness that BlinkPool has. They don't have very good tower hitters. If they had better tower hitters, they probably would have been able to take that tower by now, perhaps. Or at least dealt more damage. But that's also the offside. If they have a better tower hitter hero, they maybe wouldn't have had a PL, and they wouldn't even been in this position. So
The Hunter's coming
negatives.
on bottom lane now for BlinkPool. Clockwork moved over already, but it's the Lina trying to push into the tier 1 tower that they want to try and catch out. Millen will be the buffer, however. And he is standing between the rest of BlinkPool and the Lina. I say that when she's in the tree lines and then sticky napalm, Kezu.
It does, sir.
He does up, and he actually did connect over on the Lina with a quick flame break that triggered the Lincoln Sphere. That means Lasso can now be used. That was his 4-star from the Batrider to do it. A quick Yule Scepter up and towards the air. She'll come back down again, but only into her own death. 70 seconds without the Lina. She has no buyback available. So for Rev defense, now time to kick in.
It's a great snag there. Kezu finding her and having a dust as well, not relying on his supports to actually carry the detection for him. So great grab, and again, that's Lina's job this game. She had an okay laning stage, and she did a great job pressuring the top lane, but that was really all she did. She wasn't able to get super far ahead, and there's just too many heroes that are difficult for her to kill.
Looking for the Morphling on top. He's got Lincoln Sphere. Wind Ranger scouts out the attack coming in. Ritsu going to waveform and begin his TP. They have no stuns between the two of them, however.
Use the last
Unfortunately, Flame Break was modified a long time ago.
Yep. So can break the Lincolns with the Force, but can't lasso afterwards. So no snag there, but still they killed the Lina. Currently, Clock is I'm not sure, looking for couriers or something, trying to find enemy heroes. I guess it's safer for him to jungle on that side of the map, but.
Well, he ran through his own jungle before. Nice Shackle in towards the mid. It's Underlord in trouble. They're going to drop the Mystic Flare. He already begins the TP, but they cancel it. The Ensnare able to do so. And Ritsu actually coming in, trying to steal the damage as that Morphling needs to waveform away. He's running out of mana, and the Lasso controls him. Down for a full minute. You can buy back on the Underlord. At least the Shackle can bring down Misery, but Madara has just been given a ticket to hunt. But they're not going to go in any further without the Skywrath Mage and the Naga save. They're deciding against it.
That's a good escape. I mean, they do get 2 heroes, not all bad there, but I think grabbing the Morphling and the Underlord and an Underlord buyback is by far going to be more worth it. 2 supports for 2 cores, and they retain their gem. BlinkPool is going to be happy and content with that one. It's going to, waste some time. The Aegis is gone now, but the way that this game is going trajectory-wise is just getting super, super out of control. Manta now in PL, among other things. They've got E-Blade on Morphling at least, so he can get these one-shots. So heroes like Naga are going to need Yules or Glimmer. Same for Skywrath Mage, but they're all building what they can do.
Like Naga's almost finished up her Yule Scepter. In fact, I take it back. She has finished her Yule Scepter. Batrider's building the same, and he's not too far off too. There's a couple of 100 gold and is completed.
Another Lincoln's Breaker and deals with the E-Blade. It's just they're going to be able to cover all their bases so easily right now. And eventually, Barrett is. I'm confident to say he's going to get a BKB at some stage. It feels like Bats these days don't get that, but...
Able to jump over, went up to Skywrath Mage. Forever wants to pull him back out again with a quick Force Staff. Millen's got the distance to stay out of the Mystic Flare as well as Meteor Hammer.
I just want to give a
But
shout
they're
out
looking
to
around
Misery,
Roshan. He might spawn in 10 seconds time.
The Force happened. There was no way his Meteor Hammer was going to land. He held the channel.
Oh wow, they actually caught up to Morphling, break the Lincolns, and then into Ensnare. The combinations from BlinkPool, they're working so well.
Though.
They know he's got waveform, and what's he going to jump into? Ritsu, he tries to jump down, able to do so, stolen the Doppelganger, and gets back away to safety. Song of the Siren is out from Misery into the Meteor Hammer. Will catch both Forev as well as Bryle, and they go back in again, charging forward. You've got some protection with both Pipe as well as Crimson Guard and defensive Yule Scepters.
Okay.
So BlinkPool seem to be happy just to back off once more.
I was really worried for the Lina there, not using the Yules to dodge it, but kind of smarter the way she did it. She waited till she went high ground, then used it to debuff. So she still gets hit by the stun. The song is used, but nothing to follow up on. And they do have some burst bombs on BlinkPool. It's pretty much just like Skywrath Mage. Morphling got away relatively easy in the last fight.
Well, they're looking for the engagement again. Ritsu is the most obvious bait of all fishes in the mid lane. Wants to steal the PL.
It's a fresh morph. He did get the morph duration perk, heal someone waveform range, so he's not as good at right click in this game, but definitely has a lot more utility. Isn't necessarily a bad thing to have. But hookshot.
Hookshot forward. They had the sentry ward down. That's why they saw Misery. A quick force off away. It was Kezu that saved him, while Madara just goes in deep. Shackled up for the moment for this fight. Spin to multiple parts. Madara's going to be the big one. He wants to try and jump away. Doppelganger up. He has the distance. Morphling as well. They're just focusing on the one positions, both of which it looks like they can escape. Morphling able to waveform out and then get the one charges off. Everyone's beginning their TPs apart from Forev. Lassoed up. Millen actually having his cancelled, and he can't run away. The orb attack from the Skyrush should be enough to find that kill with one more attack with the Force Staffing forward Razor. And Forev is taking a while, but eventually he's brought down by the most entertaining laner in the game,
That's
Misery.
True. Misery's actually been owning. He Yule Scepter the Clockwork as well. He's just causing so much teamfight disruption. And I was definitely worried for Madara there, but he was able to escape the enemy heroes just long enough, get the Manta off, run away from his opponents. And by that point, BlinkPool had cleaned up everybody else and was able to catch them all independently. So it just seems like no matter what happens in these fights, BlinkPool is just so much advantage that they just can't kill core PL. This super fast heart that he got into the hood has just made him invulnerable. And he's almost got a butterfly now. Like,
I just love too the way that War believe they have to deal with it. And BlinkPool did the same type of thing when they focused on the Morphling. It was a 4-1 fight. 4v1 fight going on from both sides, and they were within like 1,000 range of each other.
Dire's top tower
it
is
was
under
very much
attack.
like that. It really felt like PL looked ditched to me, but luckily his gold advantage was such that it did not matter. Razor's got
It's on purpose, right? Like you battle the Morphling, you focus him down, because once the Morphling's dead, what has War really got? Like the Lina doesn't seem to be that impressive in the fights.
Yeah, that's the biggest negative of a late game Lina. She does attack very fast. She has some pretty good bursts. She has chain stuns, and she's good at ganking and pressuring the map. But individually, her hero's not very survivable. She doesn't have a lot of armor. She can't do that much AoE, and even having like a Mjolnir or something is not always the best solution against a PL. So it's going to be hard for Lina going forward. There's a ton of armor on Razor now. He gets Ashivas and the armor perk. The only thing BlinkPool is lacking is easy and convincing high ground. But they're winning every fight. They're transitioning. They have good team fight scouting. They're hitting so many checkboxes. And they can just high ground with gold advantage. And that's what they're aiming to do in the late game here.
TP back, War. They're coming from behind. The Dire have already used their scan. Into the pit they go. It's Ritsu inside of Roshan, but that's why the Naga illusion was there. Bad Rider takes to the skies with a Firefly and the Song of the Siren. That's a huge one. It actually caught out 3. They don't realize they've got the Lina. He's inside the Shadow Blade. They're making more PLs, and then the Hammer connects. Shackles will buy a little bit more time, but not enough. The Lina dies so quickly. Maybe the Underlord, he can take him away to safety if this can complete. Ritsu's low, but away. Unfortunately for his teammate, it won't be so lucky. The Clockwork Millen dying in the trees, and now this means an easy Roshan for BlinkPool.
That was the best time for Clockwork to have the voice line, "How's it going?" He's very, very screwed up in the face of his friends, and at least Frev is able to save some of his cores. If not for Underlord, that would have been 4 or 5 heroes dying, and very likely the end of the game. But either way, Misery's position there was fantastic. He was very separated from his team. He was in a position that could potentially cut off his opponents, and he caught 3 of them. So as a result, perfect team fight, perfect Meteor Hammer, and it was just a snowball's win there. So Aegis and Cheese going to be going to BlinkPool, which will again make their high grounding even easier.
Yep. Madara has the Aegis, the Immortal Cheeses in the Razor, and they just also picked up the Arcane Rune over on Kezu. And there's an extra double damage rune just to, well, don't know who are they going to send for that one? It's Madara.
Do you see how pathetic Razor's damage looks this game? It actually looks so atrocious. They're like, winning by this much, he's level 22. It's like 98 plus 24. Watch out, guys. Watch out for the Razor. But obviously he gets most of his damage from his abilities, static link, stuff like that. And he's picking up a heart next because they're just so far
no
ahead.
one's going to come out, chasing after Misery. That's 1 minute cooldown for him. Meanwhile on bottom lane, Lasso finds the bigger target. It's the Morphling. Can they control him enough to get the kill, however? E-Blade is still available, but no. Ritsu locked down and killed off.
He was playing
They
that one
push hard
safe, too.
now.
He was like fully strength morphed, so he either saw it coming or was strength morphed. It took forever to kill him, but it works out. 2 heroes, just the Batrider and the Skywrath Mage. It was effective.
They're going to
enough.
force him buyback. The buyback has to come. That's a double damage Phantom Lancer. Yeah, it's going to wear off in a bit, but you see how quickly he hits into the tier 3 tower with no fortification for the Radiant side. They have to rely on the Crimson Guard to do the work.
If the illusions won't work, they got to wait till the Crimson's gone. He's getting hit.
Madara's still trying it.
He's scared, man. Okay, they do pick it off.
Wait, Madara, where are you going? Oh, he's running out through the bottom.
Yeah, he's got to wait for his heart to kick in. He's missing 2,000 HP. You just sit back for like 8 seconds or something, and then you're high guard again. Essentially gets another Aegis out of it.
I like the quick sentry down. They're looking for the Lina. If she wants to move forward, she can't hide inside that Shadow Blade.
They see the ward too, so they'll probably deal with this Observer Ward in a second. That's so important. Don't let them know where Batrider's coming from.
Madara going after the range tracks. They need a little bit of help. The Seal and the Lasso. They caught Parev. They want to bring him down. He has no Crimson Guard. 1 charges are available. He'll burn him, but not enough regeneration. So the buyback, that'll give him the regeneration, but it bought the time. Morphling did not have to commit his buyback. So they've still got more Morphlings available. But this is what now, the 2nd time Pitlaw's been forced to buy back in this game after the 20-minute mark?
Yes, and you could really see it in that last engagement there. They were able to catch him even with the Obs Ward, and just a pipe and a Crimson Guard alone are not going to keep him alive. He needs, I don't know, something else, just more raw HP, maybe some kind of Lotus Orb would be useful, but they're just, he's queuing it up, but they're just too far behind. 21k gold advantage now is just, feels impossible to fight against.
It looks great for BlinkPool. And also, I'm going to one day say Underlord and not Pitlord.
It's hard, man. Once I don't say, I do these like stretches where I don't say Pitlord, and then all of a sudden it comes out of nowhere, and it's just in my brain, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sure you
it's
can
like
relate.
Windrunner.
Yep.
Windrunner appears every now and then. Kezu's looking for a gank. He's got that Gem of True Sight, hasn't taken to the skies yet, but he was underneath the Observer Ward.
It was good he jumped there. That was getting a little scary. This is like one of those times where you can throw just by doing things like that. Oh, we can take this ward, no problem. But if your opponents are happen to be 5 men or smoking at the same time, that's a great way to lose a gem and get killed on the map.
War keeps doing this as well. They keep smoking up multiple heroes to run into the dire jungle, looking for some kind of scouter, but then you see the Observer and Sentry planted down by BlinkPool.
Oh, they're TPing everybody. They see
the
him.
greatest vision. They're going to TP into Batrider. They already saw the initiation, so they control the leaner up. Meanwhile, Skywrath Mage does get nuked. I don't think they were actually ready for the E-Blade pop that came in from the Morphling. Forced up, he gets down the hill. And then Yulsep, they're up, they're sticking with him. It's the Gem of True Sight from Kezu that sees everything. So Madara's beyond godlike streak is ended, but up on top lane, Ritsu. Adding pressure to the tier 3 tower, forces TP back in Misery. Gets some extra change of Millen. He hook shots down, begins the TP! He's so far away! There was nothing else to disable him. Kezu's Yule Scepter was on cooldown and Misery was too far away. Next level play.
That was really good. Escapes, but Madara's going to hit the range barracks here again.
Oh, Shackle. Can they keep the control up? The pits are down, they're in too deep. They don't have a lot of friends to help Mount. Madara needs some distance. And he's got it. Kezu's already BT'd in.
And that should be the range in a second. Oh no, he's not right-clicking well. Okay.
There it is. The illusions moved over. And they took the Observer Ward. God, it's still so stupid. I don't think Madara even cares. Like you get worried about Madara diving in that deep. You got to remember he's got this Aegis the Immortal. He's had it for so long.
And the butterfly.
And Barrow's got Blink Lasso ready to go for another jump. They just want a fight.
He's got every base covered pretty much here. Doesn't even need the hood anymore. Although he is taking a little bit more magic damage. They get the shackle, but can they follow up?
Blink Lasso, they got it again. Forev, target number uno. They jump in on him, and maybe they have enough damage to get through. Yeah, they do. Of course they do. Goodbye to Forev, and they'll move forward down. Rax is the primary objective.
It's just so hard for Forev to stay alive here. He's limited on mana pool. He's only got 800 total mana pool, and it costs him 300 to use his ultimate.
Aegis is gone. It's problematic. Naga gets the distance with a 4-star. Song of the Siren has to begin. They open up Ritsu. They have the chance. Here comes the Meteor Hammer. Even the time the BKB does kick in for Ritsu. So Naga does fall for this, but is it really worth it as they just hide Madara? I think it was a Shadow Amulet for half a second. Hiding invisible. Ritsu starts to steal off a little bit of the damage as he has to waveform and get 4-star back up the hillside. And they get the lasso. Goodbye, Clockwork. Multiple heroes just dying. BlinkPool could even start buying back if they want to end it at the moment. But they've ravaged the mid, and they're rotating to top.
It's just so hard for them to defend here. They are 3v3 at least. Morphling's got to get some heal going on. Okay, he does. He's checking to see if he can...
You see what Ritsu wants. He wants Kezu.
Yeah.
Oh, and too quick.
Kezu
Saw it coming from a mile away and blinked away.
He could even Euls if things got really bad. There's so many... This is the benefit of gold advantage. You just have all these items that solve problems. Like all the times they needed to catch TPing heroes. Everybody's got a Euls, so it just adds up because they're already so far ahead. So these little trades that should be going better are just becoming harder and harder. And like I said earlier about Underlord's mana pool, if this guy has something like Arcanes or a Lotus Orb, he's got like 50% more mana pool. But he just doesn't have that. So one disable with PL going on him instantly gets mana burned. Then he absolutely can't Dark Rift. And it's not often that we see that because usually Underlords are doing better. But all of the advantages that BlinkPool caught and collected throughout the whole game has gotten them to this moment where it makes it almost impossible for Wind and Rain to defend and slow things down.
Is this why you think we're seeing more and more PLs as well?
Yeah.
I know during the drafting time, everyone was saying, oh, the PLs just had this rise because there's no naive Battle Fury against them. But it seems also with a lot of the Intel heroes, like and the lower mana pool strength heroes running offlane, Diffusal just rips them apart.
It seems to me like mana drain is sometimes useful. In games like this where he's ahead, it's great. But he does feel like a carry that like he does have few counters. If you have a game like this where you are winning by a large amount, yes, Diffusal is amazing. If you go even, whatever, you're still PL, and they're not going to feel greedy enough to pick counters anyways.
Initiation on Forev. He is totally alone. And now going to be dead for 70 seconds without buyback. Is still on cooldown for 2.5 minutes, and that's a double damage Phantom Lancer running in and just taking out the top racks. They do not stop this. That's plus 300 damage and his 245 base damage.
He is hitting so hard right now, and 2 towers left.
Off target. They've lost extra initiation. E-Blade pop. Oh, they actually just invis him. He Glimmer Capes, he dodges the E-Blade attack. Goodbye Morphling, and really goodbye game one. BlinkPool, they've got this one so shoved down in the bag. GG is the call. BlinkPool, great start in the lower bracket match.
Yeah, I think this was a fantastic game by them. I think Misery played ridiculously good. Kezu played ridiculously good. Those two guys secured this early game in a massive way. And then the mid game was just like Madara having insane farm and great lassos and solid play across the board from BlinkPool. Man.
That's just a great game. I'm wondering though if there was anything in the draft that you would probably change up that was wrong. Like where do we go back for what was wrong with War?
Sin, you're not important enough for the camera here. I don't know if you noticed that, but he is on the couch. Sin, what do you think? Tell us.
Wait, did it cut me off?
You were not there. It was Andy.
No,
not you.
That's okay. I can live with that.
How do you feel about the draft? You were heavily favoring Wind and Rain, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Not heavily favoring them, but I thought their lineup was going to be a bit better. Their lanes just went really poorly. I think the Morphling died way too much. We've seen this a couple of times from Ritsu. We had another game the other day where he died twice in lane against Mirana Beastmaster, and basically by playing full agility, getting arrowed and then dying. In this case, I think the first death to an extent is forgivable, but at the same time, you know the timing is there. They get level 2, you have to be respecting that and just make sure you get your level 2 so you can get out of Trouble's way. He dies, not the strongest showing from Bryle either, actually. He kind of drew mid against Razor. I was surprised to see that. I feel like that's a Lina favorite matchup, but Kaiser ended up doing very well. So I think a lot of it today can just be, at least in this game, can be attributed to BlinkPool just showing up. Like they outplayed them, and in addition to that, the lane solutions. The Batrider was really good. Like he obviously did a lot against the Morphling. Kezu got farm, found tons of picks for them that snowballed the game.
I kind of want to snowball on what he said about the Bat. I was looking at the game, and basically the Batrider did 2 or 3 things. One, it secured the fact that they were going to be able to win 2 lanes minimum because you have a Bat Naga lane, and that lane definitely won. He already explained that Ritsu did not have a very good early game. And it also allows you to put PL Sky against the Clockwork and the Underlord. Now, most of the time you look at the Underlord matchup versus a PL in a vacuum and you say, Underlord probably does okay in that lane because he gets damage from Atrophy or he can out CS, he can snowball the lane. But the problem is when you put a Skywrath in there, all the tankiness that Underlord has in the early game is negated by Skywrath harass. And the Clockwork offers nothing in regards to the PL. So normally if it was like melee versus melee, and you had 2 melee heroes on each side, the Clockwork would be a lot more useful. But against PL, he's not. He can just doppelganger away and just continue to harass. Additionally, during the mid-game, Bryle's forced to go Linken's because there's a Batrider in the game. And because he goes Linken's, as soon as Madara gets Heart Butterfly, no one else on that team can actually buy MKB. The Morphling can't buy it because he also needs BKB because of Skywrath. So it just forces like this one additional layer of defensive itemization that everyone needs, which makes the PL look invincible because no one can buy an MKB.
Yeah.
I mean, he was set up for success that game, too. They did a great job.
They also needed a Lotus on the Underlord. I think that would have, if he buys a Lotus and Bryle doesn't get forced to buy Linken's and he can go MKB sooner, maybe there's a chance that they have enough to kill that hero.
Well, he was building it, but he just died 3 times.
Right,
but
he went Pipe Crimson. I think that you just don't buy Crimson at all.
No
and you
way,
just
seriously?
You have to buy something to protect Bryle because he can't buy Linken's in that game.
The Crimson was I thought it was relatively fast, and it was so good for delaying the mid-racks. Like, that was like the best Crimson defending buildings game I've ever seen, I'm pretty sure.
Like, the Crimson, like, effectiveness can't be disputed. What it did in the game, like what you're saying is true. But the way that I see it is you can build to play defensive and hold your base, or you can play to win the game. And I don't think that buying the Crimson wins them that game because the PL still can never die. Yeah. So what good does it do if you live if you can never kill the one threat?
I still think they have to get it just because without it, PL is going to run everyone down. Like, they give themselves a chance to at least kill the PL by just being survivable enough that they can take the fight. Because the illusions will be a problem in that game. They don't have the best tools when the lane stage goes the way it does. So I would rather look toward the initial laning. That was where they lost so much of the potential in the game. I think the support should have been the other way around. I think you put the Clockwork against the Naga lane, against Naga Batrider. If Batrider wants to play aggressive, you just cock him away. Even if he's flying, the knockback is there. And then you have a Windranger bottom against the Skywrath and PL lane, and Windranger can actually harass. What ended up happening was that Clockwork basically was trading with Skywrath, and Skywrath just kept bolting him, and eventually Clockwork needs the Flask of Underlord. And they just get drained on regen over and over again, and eventually, like, this PL is just farming, like you said. I think with the opposite lanes could have been better, and in addition to that, I did not like Morphling's item build this game. I don't think you go E-Blade Linken's when you're playing against a PL who can just dodge the combo, and what was the other hero? They also had Mirror Image, a Naga, and I feel like there was even a third thing in that game. It wasn't very good against.
PL can doppelgang Theta Skywrath.
It was good against Skywrath. That was the one hero who was very good against in that game. It's just...
what do you do instead?
Razor also buys BKB. He has to buy BKB. It's a BKB hero. I think you go for a carry build in that game.
But so you maybe like the Dragonlance Manta Lifesteal build? The one that
you need an earlier BKB. Like, the problem in this game is that what Ritsu offers in a team fight is that he goes in and kills the Skywrath Mage and then he dies to PL. That basically happened 5 fights in a row.
Yeah, I would agree that so the E-Blade is wrong, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. Maybe they felt too much like they needed to gank to get kills to snowball, because they also had, like, Lina Shadowblade. But
it's just a tricky game, right? Because everything is so snowbally in this one.
Yeah.
Like, Bryle's lane doesn't go very well. Ritsu's lane goes terribly. They don't win bottom either. They basically lost 3 lanes, right? If you look at it. And we can say that he could have bought other items on Morphling, but maybe if he doesn't have this Linken's, he dies even more. That helps him against the Batrider.
So is the root problem actually that they third picked Morphling? Because I feel like that could even... Okay, so we've been talking about this matchup the entire EU qualifiers. PL versus Morphling. PL still wins every game. For one reason or another, the PL just happens to win. So is it the fact that it's not really a counter, or is it just something that they picked because it was just a Ritsu comfort hero? Because honestly, it didn't look that comfortable to me that game.
No, I just think he had a poor showing. But I also would say overall, it's not a bad matchup for PL whatsoever. But especially if the Morph goes for the E-Blade build. I think that is the worst build you have against PL. If you want a strong build against PL, you get the carry build, you get a BKB, and then you get a Mjolnir. And then you actually just have tons of agility, and you just hit. You hit hard and you hit fast. You clean up the illusions, you try to take the fight that way. But regardless of what build Ritsu goes in this game, he's far behind for, like, the whole game.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So, like, I can say he should go for the other build. I don't think it would have won them the game. I just think it was one of multiple things they could have done to maybe try to get there. But
Okay.
after the first 10 minutes, this looked very comfortable for the Dire. Like PL built up and was relatively uncountered in the whole game. So, yeah, I don't know what else there is really to say about that game. Just the laning and the great Batrider pick really made it for me.
So we'll see how game number 2 goes for Wind and Rain, if they can get back into it and force a third game. For now, we will take a quick break. We'll jump into it as soon as it's ready, so stick around.